Mr. Scary Studios. Number 1.
The plague started out harmless enough, only infecting a small portion of population. Hell, we even knew about it for ages. Not many wanted to believe the symptoms at first, but once it began to spread more rapidly, it was more like a second coming. Well, if the second coming was closer to a second great flood, panic swept across the nation. There seemed to be no stopping it despite dozens of different medications for it. Some responded, well, while others, for too many, the pain was too much to bear. Within the first year, nearly half the Earth's population had killed themselves. Various medical experts around the world were bombarded with complaints about treatment options. Many were killed out of rage, and the few public believed sat behind the defense of scientific ignorance. Some worked better for others. Honestly, we still didn't know much about how the medications work on a biological level. And still, for some, it was an age of relief, not for some sick, inhumane reason, but for a more welcoming feeling of brotherhood. Finally, the entire world had stopped waging war. It may have not been in an effort for humanity or politics, nor for economics or even for a common alien enemy. Yet the world had finally achieved a solemn fog of peace that broke hatred and differences, promoting a unity that hadn't been seen in centuries. Further still, historians could agree on how the plague should be recorded in the books to teach the generations to come. The arrival of the plague that had brought the world peace was stated rather simply, despite the sheer number of losses to our race, as the day depression became contagious.
Number 2.
In the summer of 2013, I used to travel a lot with my boyfriend from running races. Hotel costs were pricey, as we were both just high school students at the time, so my boyfriend got the idea to camp in forests nearby. At first it was fine, as we didn't encounter anyone, and we saved a lot of money. However, it was one particular night that changed everything, and made me never want to camp like that again. My boyfriend and I were camped inside the forest nearby the event grounds for the Spartan race. There was also a neighborhood nearby, but we were deep inside the forest that no one would be able to see us unless they were really looking for us. I was having trouble sleeping this night, so I lay awake, waiting until I felt tired enough to fall asleep again. It was during this time that I heard the snap of a twig nearby. Now, I'm a pretty paranoid person, so at first I just tried to play it off as an animal nearby. However, there were more snaps that seemed to come closer and closer, and it was during this time that I nudged my boyfriend awake and whispered for him to listen. My boyfriend listened, and he also confirmed someone or something was approaching our tent. Suddenly, there was this strange noise that didn't sound like any noise an animal could make. If I could try and explain it, I would compare it to the noise that those flashlights that require you to wind them up for power makes. It sounded like the whirring sound of someone winding up a flashlight, or even the sound of an electric screwdriver. I was freaking out at this point, but my boyfriend calmly opened the entrance of the tent and peered outside. He said it was pitch black and there was no signs of light in the distance. This just freaked me out more, because I was coming towards us, and they weren't holding a flashlight. I mean, a harmless person be calling out to us by now and inquiring what we were doing right? The whirring sound continued to occur every 5 minutes or so, and I just was clutching at my boyfriend's arm, completely frightened. Suddenly it stopped, but whoever it was continued to approach our tent. I literally jumped into a little when I suddenly heard a sound that sounded like someone blowing their nose right outside our tent. I was just paralyzed with fear. and tried to make as little movement as possible. Then whatever was outside continued making the sound of someone blowing their nose, but it started getting further and further away, as if they were walking away. After several minutes of silence, my boyfriend peered outside again and confirmed that there was no one around. He brushed it off as an animal, but I just didn't believe an animal made those sounds. I have no idea how I got myself to get back to sleep, but somehow I did, and awoke to the light of the morning sun. Never had I been so relieved to see so much light. And I basically pushed my boyfriend out of the tent, packed up, and dragged him back towards the main road again. To this very day, I have stood very firm on only camping on official campgrounds. My boyfriend thinks I'm being silly, but the whole experience really traumatized me. The fact that the person didn't carry a flashlight, carried some sort of whirring mechanical device, and didn't say a word as he or she stood outside and watched our tent still sends shivers down my back whenever I think about it. So creepy person who stood close enough to kill us, let's not meet.
Number 3.
I love running errands with my dad. It's always so much fun. I am his little girl after all. Well, not so little anymore. I'm a senior now. I'll always appreciate everything he's done for me. He sacrificed a lot to make sure I had a better life growing up than he did. Being a single father isn't easy. Sometimes I think about Mom, but the last time I saw her, I was just a baby, probably about 2 years old. It's hard for me to remember her, but I'm really happy and appreciate to have a father like him. I hear stories of other girls my age getting scolded by their father for staying out too late or wearing something provocative. I'm happy I don't have to worry about that. I don't like to stay out late, but even if I did, I know my father would give me the freedom to do what I want. I think that's why I always respect any rules he may have in place, because I know he gives me the ability to do a lot of things other fathers don't allow their daughters to do. I pause right before we enter the little mom and pop grocery store. There's a bunch of flyers on the wall. Someone is selling their riding lawnmower for only $300. Looks almost new in the picture. Seems like a good deal. Looks like someone named Christina is a math tutor. $45 an hour. Seems kind of high though. I'm happy my dad is able to help me with any math. He's so smart. A local band is going to be performing on Saturday. Ferment's Demise. Sounds like a metal band. My favorite kind of music is metal, probably because my dad loves it so much. We love blasting it into the truck. I don't think we'll be in town for their performance though. It seems like we would have a good time. Then a different kind of flyer catches my eye. A picture of a girl, Eddie Skelly, born 7/15/1998. Blonde hair, blue eyes. What's this? Her senior picture? Missing person? As we walk into the store, my dad asks, "Everything okay, honey pie?" I ask. My dad, "Why is the baby picture on the flyer? What's this picture next to it?" He replies, "Oh, that's an age progression picture. That's what they thought you would like when you're older." Wow, they were way off. I say though, a giggle right before I lean in and give my father a big kiss. Just like before, we run every errand. I cock my gun and scream, "Okay, everyone on the ground," and nobody dies. My father sharply looks at me and says, "Honey, what's one of my rules?" I sheepishly look at my father and say, "I know, Daddy. I'm sorry. No lying."
Number 4.
Last night my wife went on a girls' night out, and I had nothing productive to do, so I began surfing the internet for interesting things. I clicked through the usual game reviews, movies, celebrity gossip, Reddit, random subs. I was bored. I found a site called knowyourwife.com. It had a blurry picture of 3 women at a restaurant. One in the center looked like my wife. I clicked it and opened to a blank screen. So I pressed the back button, and the page failed to load. Trying to forget about it, I played a game to pass the time, but I couldn't understand that image of my wife on this website. Pausing the game, I opened the browser, and a new picture appeared. Two girls waving goodbye to someone in a familiar green car. I couldn't make out who was in the truck, nor could I place where this was. Coincidence? I clicked the picture and the screen went black. Then my PC went on a blue screen of death and restarted. Frustrated, I took out my phone and sent my wife a text. "Hey babe, how are you?" "Good, you?" "Bored without you, LOL. I'm at Jones having wine. I'll be home later, okay?" "No problem, love you." "Love you." Heart symbol. My computer restarts. Minutes later, the browser opens. Oops, something happened. Restore tabs. I click yes. The website opens again, now showing for sure our bedroom and my wife in bed. I am seriously freaked out and run from my office to our room and find it empty. I pull out my phone relieved. "Text me when you're coming home, please." I hear a buzz and a chime as my wife's phone lights up on her nightstand. I rush over and sure enough, there it is. Her phone and my text. My adrenaline is pumping. I run to intuate bathroom and turn on the light. Nothing. I open the curtains and swing them wide. Nothing. I run to the garage to check if her car is there. Nothing. I run back up to the bedroom. Her phone is now missing. I don't know how to explain it. Is it too late? And that website was freaking me out, but maybe I imagined it all. I go back to my office and look on the screen. The picture updates. A clear view of my wife is now bound and gagged. There is no mistaking that mole on her cheek and that wedding ring on her finger. I know my wife. I click the picture, but this time it opens a GoDaddy hosting service. This website is hosted for free. You can own it for only $13. I pressed back. It reloads to GoDaddy's site. Frantically, I look for catch pages, but there is nothing. My phone chimes and I pull it out of my pocket slowly. Don't forget to turn off the light to insulate the bathroom. She hasn't been home since.
Number 5.
This game is weird and stupid. Well, what was I expecting? It's called Death.exe and it's only $9.99. What was I really after is a beautiful plastic necklace, more of a collar, actually that came with the game. I'm still aware of its pleasant heaviness around my neck. Takes time to get used to, but I don't mind. Do you want to uninstall Death.exe from your computer? Yes or no? Yes. Are you sure? Yes or no? Yes, damn it! My browser opened. You're trying to uninstall Death.exe. Please answer a few questions before we part. Why do you do this? Assholes, I typed. Because I fucking want to. Because I don't need it anymore. Send. The next window opened. Mr. Harris, calm down. Your blood pressure is getting too high. It might interfere with your ability to finish the game. I just finished it. I screamed at the monitor and quieter. And how do you know? No, did you not finish it? And it doesn't matter how and what do we know. What it is that you lose, you die. You should have read the license agreement. I don't have any video cameras or microphones around. What the hell is going on? I stared at the monitor in a punch-drunk stupor for I don't know how long, probably a few minutes. When the ability to think returned to me, I closed the browser and clicked the antivirus app. It wouldn't open. Instead, the browser sprang to life again. Mr. Harris, you are running out of time. I felt a streak of cold sweat rushing down my spine. The monitor showed green, 10 replaced by the red 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. The thought struck me like lightning. The necklace, it was too late. I really should have read the license agreement.